but you know, it doesn't need new cards. So what it needed was the new set to push Delver out of the scene, kind of. Here he's facing off against Delver, so it could be rough for him.
Right, but I see the logic. You know, I see what you're saying. That actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah, like the Grand Architect tag, even though he's not playing any cards from the new set except for Cavern of Souls in his board, he still gained a ton from the new set because people aren't playing counterspells for his gigantic things that he's ramping into.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting, you know, survival of the fittest food chain kind of thing where you take one of the predators out of the format, and suddenly maybe this actually starts to perpetuate Grand Architect. But as we're gonna see now, the predators aren't all gone. Yeah. There's still some sharks.
So Braatz keeps a double Nile Spellbomb in hand, and that might take a little while to get online, so he's got to see whether or not... Meru Bhanot leads things off with a Ponder, and let's see what he finds. There's a Gut Shot, a Vapor Snag, and an Island. Now this is one of the weird things about pondering on turn 1 is he has no idea whether or not these cards are good against his opponent's deck.
Yeah.
That could be the absolute nuts against Sam, but that could also be terrible.
Yeah. So it's you kind of limit your decisions.
Yeah.
Unless maybe he knows what Sam's playing.
Yeah, there's always a chance that these two know each other. I mean, we are in Madison.
Or happen to be seated near
Madison
each other.
Locals. Yeah.
Could have been seated near each other at some point, and
yeah, I mean, both their last names end in B, maybe even during deck construction.
So, turn 1 Nile Spellbomb from Sam.
And Gitaxian Probe reveals a Sphere of the Suns, Inkmoth Nexus, Drowned Catacombs, Nile Spellbomb, and a Ratchet Bomb.
Meru writing it down. Tells him, discard the Inkmoth Nexus. Be a nice trick, right? Nice Jedi mind trick. Yeah, discard it. Okay, discard it. Too bad that doesn't really work. Even if you could trick your opponent into discarding it, it doesn't actually work. I spy a dark confidant.
Trick yourself into a...
I spy a dark confidant from the booth here, standing over there, chatting. Mr. Bob Maher himself.
Yeah, oh my gosh, a real-life dark confidant.
Yeah.
Not a paper one.
No, not at all.
The great one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Meru. You know, a very controlling hand for this Delver deck. Not really what he wants in this type of matchup. Probably going to have the Gitaxian Probe without paying mana for it to see if he can hit a third land. Nope, instead chooses to go ahead and Ponder. Normally you want to do that in the other order. You want to Gitaxian Probe before you Ponder. That makes your Ponder get a card deeper.
Yeah. Unless he's...
Does find a land, and you know, had he Gitaxian Probe beforehand, he might be able to cast the Sword this turn, which could be pretty good. And maybe it's not what he wants to be doing. You never know.
He does go with the Gitaxian Probe.
Yeah. And
Ratchet Bomb, Dark Slick Shores, Nihil, Spellbomb, and what is that fourth card down? Was it just a land?
I think it was an Inkmoth Nexus.
Okay.
Alright, and Snapcaster Mage comes down, and that's going to flash back this Gitaxian Probe. Meru falling down to 14.
Yeah.
And,
Quite a...
yeah, not really a big deal. Like you say, it's very clear that he's not playing against something where his life total is all that relevant. I mean, when Samuel wins, he's going to win whether or not Meru's at 40 or 4, you know?
If you're interested in playing any two-headed dragon,
using that Silvergill adept as a, or using that Snapcaster Mage as Silvergill adept,
right?
Good.
Still pretty good. So Ratchet Bomb from Sam, and passes back. So slow start for both of these guys, really. I mean, Sam's kind of not expected to have a blazing fast start exactly, but. Snapcaster in for 2.
Yeah, Meru able to bash in for 2 here. And depending on what's in his hand, he has a couple of different options here. That's interesting. I think he's going to go with a sword. But I mean, he knows that Samuel doesn't have any way to effectively deal with that in hand, so... not going to be a bad play here.
Yeah. So Sword of War and Peace for Meru, and Sam cracks his Spellbomb just to draw a card. Prevent any more Snapcaster shenanigans, but I think mainly he just wanted to draw a card. Inkmoth Nexus.
And a Mortar Pod comes
yeah.
down.
Mortar Pod.
Let's see. So,
Oh, what kind of token is that? That is, that's one I haven't seen before.
is that Woodrow Wilson
I don't know.
featured on that token?
Can we get a zoom in on that, Jesse?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to look at the unique tokens that players bring. What does that say?
Is that James Joyce? Very nice. I
That is
appreciate it.
I love it. There's a James Joyce pub in Baltimore that has some really good food. I used to go there every week. That's what I think of now when I hear James Joyce, not the writer it's named for. All right, so
Yeah, main phase Thought Scour from Meru.
and land. That's a nice Thought Scour.
Yeah.
Draws
Ooh,
a Geist
and
of
has a
St.
Geist in hand. That's gonna be pretty good too. But you know, he's already got the sword in play, so the Geist may not be what he's looking for right now.
Yeah, that James Joyce Mortar Pod token successfully holding off the equip sword to the Snapcaster line of play. That is so awesome. I love it. It's like got to be from some kind of weird card game or like flashcards kind of thing.
All right, and another Nile Spellbomb comes down for Sam. Meru, okay with just letting that resolve?
And a gut shot for James Joyce. Too bad that's not a Houdini token. You're taking a gut
And
shot.
a Vapor Snag
Oh.
going to bounce this Snapcaster back to Samuel's hand. Oh, this is a really aggressive Snapcaster here. And your opponent has a Ratchet Bomb on the table. Not really worth it. I just wait and draw a card with it. Yep.
All right, so Meru setting things up to equip, try to get in. But
And
that
not
Ratchet
really gonna
Bomb's,
work.
yeah.
That Ratchet Bomb's
Ratchet
definitely
Bomb's gonna
gonna
hold it off.
take care of that problem. And
I don't know. I would have forced him to use a Ratchet Bomb there.
by equipping the sword,
Yeah, I would try, because the thing is now he's gonna pop it up and he's just gonna kill the sword. I'd much rather trade my Snapcaster than for the Ratchet Bomb than the sword for the Ratchet Bomb. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I mean also what
You're gonna take his Mortar Pod.
the other thing
too.
that it does is that like when you try to do that, then it opens you up to being able to cast your Geist in the same turn. And
Yeah, so he's gonna crack the Ratchet Bomb. So he trades Ratchet Bomb for sword. And there's the
Treasure Mage,
Yeah.
and that's probably gonna go and find a Worm Coil engine, something of the like for him.
very likely.
That's exactly what it finds.
Yeah, he would have lost his own Mortar Pod. Would he have lost his own Sphere? Sphere costs 2, right? Yeah, so, I mean, I would have equipped... And if his only answer to that equip was Ratchet Bomb, he was either going to have to use it there or take a hit from it. I don't know, I think it seemed like a much better line.
All right, now the Snapcaster can't really attack, so Meru's going to be forced to cast. He can either Rune Chanter Spike and equip and start trying to get aggressive, but that just lets Sam just sacrifice that Treasure Mage. Or he can cast the Geist, but I think what he really wants to do is just cast this Rune Chanter Spike and leave open Mana Leak mana so he can counter a Worm Coil engine. So Samuel Braatz with a Grand Architect. That's a big game.
It's a grand game, actually, in this case.
It's a grand game. And now
In with the
Samuel
treasure
is going to be
Oh,
able
he's
to
gonna-
cast Wormcoil Engine
Yeah.
with mana to pay for Mana Leak, thanks to Grand Architect. You know, not putting Meru in the worst of spots, Meru does have a Phantasmal Image in hand, so he can just copy that Wormcoil Engine.
So he goes, okay, mana leak, and Sam pays. All right, Wormcoil resolves. Meru now looks to be doing the Phantasmal Image play that you suggested. There it is,
Yep.
Phantasmal Image on the
Able to
Wormcoil.
copy that Wormcoil for this Phantasmal Image.
Did that Treasure Mage pick up the Mortar Pod?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Alright, Snapcaster picks up the Rune Chanter's Pike, swings in. Now, this isn't going to be as big as it could have been earlier because Sam sacrificed that Nile Spellbomb, but it still looks like it's going to be a pretty big hit if...
Alright.
Oh, he had the other Spellbomb. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I
It was
mean,
hidden
chooses
under
to not pay the mana for it and
other
not draw
pile
the
of
card.
stuff. Yeah.
Gains 6, goes up to 20. Meru going to be forced to just pass the turn. As a Wormcoil in play in the form of Phantasmal Image, but
This is looking great for Sam.
yeah, Sam's in a really good spot here. At this point,
Just Mortar Pot away the Phantasmal Image.
yeah, but I mean, his opponent will get the 2 3/3s, but then he can just
He's just
Okay.
on the attack.
chooses to swing in with these two.
Okay. So Meru puts his Phantasmal Image Wormcoil Engine in front of Wormcoil Engine.
Yeah, and then he's going to use Grand Architect's activated ability to target the Phantasmal Image, which is going to kill it. The Phantasmal Image is an artifact, so he can do that. And he's going to get in for 2 points to Meru. Pretty sweet, because because the Phantasmal Image can copy the Wormcoil, it's an artifact. So Grand Architect can just tap a blue and target
Yeah. It was interesting he didn't do that in the first place, I guess.
it. Well, he wants to make sure that his opponent doesn't have multiple blockers for his attack step, so he's
Yeah.
just letting him block and then doing it, and then
I
his
see.
opponent doesn't like gain any life, and he gets in for damage, and James Joyce comes back to join the party.
This time with a Batter Skull. What are those tokens? It's like somebody's grandfather.
Yeah, these
And
guys
like
both
a
have
person
like
with a-
famous writer tokens.
It's
James
actual
Joyce.
James Joyce photo or
Yeah,
James
he's like,
Joyce
oh
collection.
man, you have James Joyce tokens too? Something you don't see every day in Madison,
Mary's
Wisconsin.
scooping them up, yeah.
All
Where
right,
are
so
these
Samuel
tokens coming
Braatz
from?
with his Grand Architect deck, able to
I like
go
it.
steal game 1 from Delver.
Yeah.
Now all he's got to do is win 1 of 2 more and home free.
You
Be
can
in the
look
rough
at these guys'
matchup.
faces and tell how they're feeling right now. Like Sam with a slight smile, and Meru like, man, I shouldn't. Well, now he's smiling. He's smiling at the James Joyce tokens, but
Yeah, looking at Samuel's sideboard, he has access to a Trinket Mage. What's he going to bring in here? I imagine he's going to bring in the single copy of Cavern of Souls, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some Dungeon Geist and Mental Missteps. But not much more than that in the sideboard for Samuel Braatz.
yeah, Meru has excuse me, double steel sabotage that he will definitely want to be bringing in here.
Yeah, those would be awesome.
Dungeon Geists seem pretty good against Wormcoil engines.
Oh yeah.
He's also got 2 more Phantasmal Image, which, you know, didn't necessarily work for him. Didn't get him out of that pickle, but excuse me. Didn't get him out of trouble there, but certainly got him into a position where he could have made more of a game. So I think I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, just copying your opponent's Grand Architect's really good. It lets you, you can tap it to equip swords. You can, use it as a lord for your team because you have so many blue guys. It's just really good.
So we had a question from Twitter about the doesn't the other Wormcoil engine also die in the match because of Death Touch? But even though they blocked, even though one Wormcoil
damage was never dealt.
blocked the other, there was no damage dealt. So Death Touch never applied. It was the Phantasmal Image Wormcoil was targeted before damage. So
Samuel didn't use the Grand Architect to make the Wormcoil blue to make it bigger. He used the Grand Architect to target his opponent's Wormcoil because it was an illusion.
I know it's hard to tell exactly from
Meru, Bhanot, an illusionist.
Yeah.
Many illusionists in this tournament today.
So, for those of you at home, obviously watching on the internet, if you have access to a computer, which you clearly do, check out Adrian Sullivan's, what he tweeted. It's a miscut legacy deck. I'm gonna bring it up here so JVL can see it, but it's apparently a full legacy deck with miscuts, and Adrian Sullivan's Twitter handle is Adrian L. Sullivan. He also tagged it with SCGMAD, so you can just search for that hashtag and you'll see Adrian Sullivan's tweet.
Miscuts?
Apparently, it says Ben Karp's all miscut legacy deck for SCG Madison. Look at this. There's a Force of Will that's clearly like way off. Elspeth, whose name is entirely cut off, except it's at the bottom, right? Her name's at the bottom. A Brainstorm that looks like it's miscut. It's very, very interesting choice of deck.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. Tundra, an island, a foil Zendikar full art island.
It's unhinged, right?
Is that unhinged? Oh, it's unhinged. You're right. I was thinking Zendikar because I think it's hidden. The bottom of it's hidden nice. Yeah, you're right. It's a foil unhinged miscut island. That is quite a unique deck. Yeah, like there's
terrifyingly expensive.
Yeah. Look at this Tundra over here is black bordered and it has like the crimping on the edge. It's crazy.
I remember when you used to get cards with the crimping all the time.
Yeah. I remember a friend of mine opening a box of Ice Age and the entire thing it was like the ink was running or something. It was all like terrible like ink.
Did you open any sweet cards?
It was Ice Age.
Yeah, so how many sweet cards are in Ice Age?
Like Icy Manipulator?
Yeah, like
Brainstorm?
Yeah, running ink Brainstorm is probably worth
Yeah, he
something.
actually may have, if he still has them, I don't know.
Yeah. Necropotence?
Yeah, that's true.
Necropotence is a powerful spell.
That's true, yeah.
These players laughing it up, telling each other some jokes.
Drew Levin tweeted, "Is this real?" about the the miscut deck. That's how crazy it is. All right, so we're off, and a ponder from Meru on turn 1.
Yep, Meru on the play again this game. Not able to take last game despite having the play. Didn't really have much aggression. Didn't put anything on the table until about turn 3. And that really cost him because, if he doesn't have an aggressive draw, Samuel can kind of just run him over. And not run him over. Samuel can, get time to take control of the game. Samuel with an island of his own.
That's a nice looking island, and there's a different ponder.
Yeah, old school
that
Portal
island.
Island. Back when the other islands didn't have that blue mana symbol on the bottom, they actually had the text.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the first, that's the first island to have that symbol.
Fancy.
Not the most common island either.
Mm-mm.
All right, and that Lorwyn Ponder versus that full art Ponder.
I like the Lorwyn Ponder better, actually.
I think I like the full art one.
Meru with a sea chrome coast and passes back.
again,
looks-
Meru, not
yeah.
with the most aggressive of draws. Here he has a Nile Spellbomb, but I don't think Meru's going to go ahead and... Oh, he decides to Steel Sabotage the Nile Spellbomb. I think Samuel's going to be fine with that.
Meru draws Mana Leak. Has a
Pretty good in this
Snapcaster
matchup.
hand, and here comes Geist of St. Traft.
Ooh, and that's going to be really rough for Sam. If he has a black mana here, he may be able to Liliana, but I don't know if he does. It looks like he does. And the Liliana the Veil coming down. Perfect answer for this guy to stay trapped in this spot. Going to go on to 1 counter, make Meru
Very
sacrifice his hex-proof creature. And suddenly things are looking really good for Samuel. He's got a Planeswalker in play against an empty board.
Moorland Haunt for Meru.
And that's a really good one here too.
Yeah, this is turning into a game, shaping up
this
to be
is,
a game. Yeah.
This is definitely shaping up to be a game that's... Alright, so Meru decides to just pass the turn here. Samuel, gonna have to think about his lines here.
+1 on Liliana. Both players discard. Samuel discards Island. Meru discards Mana Leak. He's got another Mana Leak in hand along with a Snapcaster, and he's that third card. I just can't quite see what it is. Is it another Ponder? Or no, that's Mana Leak. So he's got Snapcaster, Mana Leak, something. Maybe it's double Snapcaster that he has. That's why I keep thinking that. So Ponder from Samuel. I think he saw land.
Ooh, he's not going to want to keep that. I guess hypothetically he could want to keep that, but...
It may have been Landland Spell. He kept it. Ponder. Finish resolving. Yeah, it was a Spell Bomb, I think.
Sphere, in a sense?
Or maybe Sphere of the Suns. Plays Inkmoth. Taps 2. Sphere of the Suns, you're right. Snapcaster. Oh, Mana Leak. Okay, that's good. That's even better.
Yeah.
And now Liliana's probably gonna take a hit.
Yeah, Liliana. Gonna die to the
Gone,
Snapcaster Mage here. Meru just attacking. And, yeah, Sam falling behind pretty quickly here. He does, however, have a Tezzeret in his hand.
No artifacts in play.
And not a good way to protect it right now, but Tezzeret nonetheless.
Plays a land. Plays the Tezzeret. And here we have Mana Leak number 2 from Meru, and
We do.
I think we're going to be going to game 3.
I think you're right. I mean,
mean-
Meru just has one of those draws where he's able to, you know, get a little bit of pressure on the table and just protect it.
He still needs, I think, a little more pressure than that, though. It's a 10-turn clock is not something to be very confident of. But there's a swing from the Snapcaster, and Meru plays Delver of Secrets. Passes back to Samuel.
Yeah. The Foil Delver of Secrets. One of the more sought-after cards in Innistrad.
Sam taps 3. Seems to be waffling on what exactly he wants to do here.
Could it be a Grand Architect? Perhaps a Phyrexian Metamorph.
Look at that. Nice timing, Jesse. Right there. Just get the player reaction while he's trying to think.
He's tanking and he decides to settle on... Ooh, Liliana the Veil.
Liliana number 2.
Makes his opponent sacrifice a guy. Oh, no. That's
Wow.
also getting Mana Leaked. That's brutal. Really bad for Samuel.
Yeah, Meru with the second Snapcaster for the second Mana Leak. And Sam cannot stick anything on the board. And now he's facing down 5 a turn if that Delver stays a Delver.
Yeah.
If Sam it's going to be even more if Sam gives Meru the opportunity to start using Moorland Haunt, because there's at least one spirit available there, the Geist of Saint Jacques.
Yeah, I think they're. Yeah, right now it's just the Geist. But
yeah.
as Samuel deals with more creatures, he's only going to have to deal with more creatures thanks to Moorland Haunt. It's one of the things that makes it just so dangerous to play Control nowadays. You know, Moorland Haunt and just all these ridiculous cards against you.
And the Geist turns into a spirit. I don't know what the difference is, but
it's already a spirit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Meru gets the spirit off the Moorland Haunt and now has 6 damage on the table, or 6 power on the table. Delver did not yet flip. Everybody getting into the red zone. Sam has the option to use the Ink Moth to trade with something if he wants, but yeah, I don't
even
know
that's
how,
pretty dangerous. I mean, he.
Yeah, I don't like that play, but I'm trying to think of the lines he has.
Samuel down to 7 now.
Plays Evolving Wilds and passes back. All right. Does Delver flip? No, it does not. There we have 6 damage. Gonna put Sam to 1. Okay, so Ink Moth activated.
Let's see what he decides to block here. Blocking a Snapcaster will leave him at 2 instead of 1, but... Or we'll leave him at 3 now.
So he does block the Snapcaster. Meru plays Glacial Fortress and passes. Sam cracks his Evolving Wilds.
Finds a basic island. And, you know, just looking for any way to get back into this game at this point. But it does not look good. He's at 3 and his opponent has a Delver in play. The moment that thing flips, it's just going to attack him for lethal damage.
So, yeah, scoops him up. I was trying to think of a way out for him, you know, like Batterskull, Wormcoil, something like that would have been nice, although it wouldn't have stopped a flip Delver.
Yeah. Now in game 3, Samuel's going to get to be on the play. Which is pretty big in a matchup like this. I don't think either player will really necessarily sideboard differently from game 2 to game 3. Well, you never know.
Holding the dismembered head of Jar Jar Binks. If the answer is yes, you should stop by and visit our artist Jeff Maricola. He just drew that, and he can draw something special for you.
This is a card I don't think I've seen in any deck list, but it's in Samuel's sideboard. It's a one-of Master Thief.
Oh yeah, the Sour Temptation for artifacts?
Yeah, it's, you know, 2/2 for blue, blue, and 2. Creature, human rogue, uncommon from M12. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target artifact for as long as you control Master Thief. So, I don't imagine he brings that in here, but I think that's just really cool.
I mean, it's a pretty sweet card.
I mean, you can steal swords with it. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, maybe he does bring it in. Maybe he looks over at Meru's. Oh, there's Meru's list. Let's put these face down so we don't get so confused.
Yeah, I think the only things he would really be stealing are Rune Shatter Spike and Sword of War and Peace. And there are only 3 equipment in Meru's deck on only 1 sword, so not really the best. Rune Shatter Spike, not that good in Samuel's deck.
Yeah, it's just something I thought was kind of notable. I like to see new cards. Yeah, it's kind of cool. He's got the 1 Cavern of Souls, as you mentioned. Get a Mind Slaver. Havengul Lich.
Havengul Lich making an appearance on this sideboard. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I haven't seen that besides in Heartless Summoning decks. So a little bit surprised to see it here. Not surprised, in that I think it's wrong, but I think it's interesting. So would like to see how he uses it. I imagine it's not for this matchup, though.
Yeah, hopefully he continues doing well and we can follow him throughout the tournament. See how those things work out for him in the future rounds. Samuel again mulliganing his hand away. Not a keepable 7.
I'm starting to get excited for M13. I know we just got Avison restored, but I'm like, see, I think I love what they started doing, starting in M10, where they have this kind of new core set with some old cards, some new cards. It's great. It's like a greatest hits plus, new songs or something.
It's like going to see a band in concert.
Right.
They play all the songs you love, but sometimes you get some new stuff too.
Yeah. I really like what they've been doing, and the other thing is it's sort of predictable in that it's not like I don't want to say like the cards that they print are predictable, but I mean like the flavor of it, that it's just like classic kind of very just kind of well-loved fantasy kind of ideas.
Yeah, they don't like take you to another world or something. They're
Yeah,
just like, here are goblins, here are
exactly.
elves,
I love that. That's what I love about Magic in the first
angels
place. Yeah, all of this, all going to these crazy worlds. It's cool and all, but I think I still really love the core set for it being a core set where you can get, kind of just basic Baneslayer angels and gargoyle castles, and like that's awesome. Sleep. Like I love that spell, even though it wasn't actually that great. It was just, this is great. It's Final Fantasy.
Sleep is sleep.
Silence. These are classic.
And sleep is so flavorful, and it really it's exactly what sleep does in every RPG of all time ever.
I know. I just want to see them. I love to see that kind of thing. Like, are they gonna have Bahamut, like Final Fantasy spells?
Oh my gosh, the Hobbit movie comes out soon.
Oh yeah, they're working on that. So
I'm so excited.
But yeah, it's just Jesse put up on the teleprompter 60 GP to rest at the end. Yes, no. That's classic. Yeah, I love that, and I love that it's always, same time of year, same kind of thing that we can expect. Samuel now mulliganing to 5, by the way.
Choosing to keep his 5-card hand.
Okay.
Drowned Catacombs on turn 1. Decent. He's going to have both colors he needs, but he's going to need to hit land drops for a few turns.
Yeah, hopefully that 5 is actually playable, So a ponder from Meru. He's pondering his ponder.
Yeah, Meru, 2 games in a row now where he had very reactive draws. And I mean, that's one of the strong parts about Delver, is that it can play, a proactive game and a reactive game very well. But especially in a matchup like this, you want to be the proactive person.
He's got double Mana Leak, Glacial Fortress. Couldn't quite see what else was in his hand, but...
Oh, Sphere of the Sun's on turn 2. Samuel Braatz seems to have a decent hand for a 5-carder.
Hopefully it's not all acceleration and no action. We already know Meru has double Mana Leak, so that's... Meru goes on the reactive plan.
Ooh, Phyrexia's Core. I like that one. Let's say a land. You can sacrifice an artifact to gain a life.
Ratchet Bomb from Sam gets Mana Leaked from Meru.
And Meru not wanting to deal with a Ratchet Bomb on the table from Sam.
Draws Phantasmal Image.
It's still this incredibly reactive hand from Meru.
Plays a Glacial Fortress. Passes back. Sam with access to at least 4 here.
Let's see what Sam has for us. I think Meru is just going to be countering every spell that Sam plays for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And he has another Mana Leak and he has Snapcaster range. And he already has the 4th land, so...
Tezzeret, gonna get Mana Leaked.
Yep.
Once again, players in $10 draft, number 4, here is now ready.
Celestial Purge off the top for Meru. Yeah, I mean, I'm content to play blue-white control too if I'm Meru and I have that many counter spells.
Especially if he's expecting to hit land drops where he feels that Samuel might not be able to.
Yeah. Nothing from Samuel. Not a land, not a spell. Passes the turn.
And that's not what he wants to be doing.
Meru draws Morlanhawk, plays it.
No creatures in Meru's yard. At this point, he may be thinking about just snapcastering back a Ponder. And that's precisely what he's going to go ahead and do.
I think exactly what he's doing. Snapcaster Mage, Flashback Ponder. I think he saw land and is now shuffling.
Seems to make sense. 5 lands is already too much when you're the Delver deck.
Yeah.
You really only want to hit 4 and then stop drawing them forever. And if you don't hit your 3rd land drop or 4th land drop for a couple turns, that's just fine. It doesn't really matter. It's one of the nice things about that deck. Meru here has an Invisible Stalker that he can play on his second main phase. Probably correct to do so.
Invisible Stalker, his first appearance in this match.
Yeah, only 2 copies of Invisible Stalker in Meru Bhanot's deck. That's become pretty stock. Alright, so Samuel able to resolve a Tezzeret, and he's going to activate that ability and see if he can find something that he needs.
Finally a window for Sam to resolve a spell.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, Tezzeret, without a doubt, one of the most powerful cards in his deck, but not very good in this spot here. Alright. And Meru with a Geist in hand. And Meru's, you know, he's kind of just like sneaking around looking for some way to interact with this Tezzeret. Samuel did a really good job getting that Tezzeret on the table. And it's going to be difficult to protect. But remember, he did mulligan a 5 here.
Oblivion Ring from Meru resolves and Tezzeret is exiled.
Pretty good. Getting in for 3 damage, putting Samuel down to 16, is it?
I think
Was he at 19 or?
I think so.
Or was he at 20 and he's just at 17?
I think he's at 17, yeah.
Okay. And a Ratchet Bomb coming down for Samuel Braatz. Pretty good against Meru's board of a couple of 2-drops.
Gitaxian Probe from Meru shows him double Phyrexian Metamorph.
And that's really good. See anything in his graveyard that he can get back if he copies Snapcaster Mage?
I don't
No
think
Ponders
so.
or anything?
I think it's only Ratchet Bomb and Tezzeret that he cast, and both were countered. And then he cast the second Tezzeret, and it was O-rings.
Yeah. Jeez. So, I'm just gonna crack in for another 3, put Samuel down to 14, and gonna continue to see what he can do here to apply pressure. I imagine he's just gonna play this Geist of St. Traft. But again, I guess you never know. All right, so
looks like
Meru.
he's going with a Phantasmal
So
Image.
it's Phantasmal Image and copy that Snapcaster Mage. And he's probably going to get a Ponder back.
Yeah. No, just probe. He already flashed back his Ponder. I thought that it was probe Ponder, but it was probe. So draws a Thought Scour.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Especially when you're winning.
Passes the turn. Samuel. Ratchet Bomb ticks up.
Samuel chooses to play land. Just again passes the turn back over to Meru. Meru with another Thought Scour. Fill Scriver up with more things for his Moorland Hunt.
What do you hit? Snapcaster and Geist. I think off that Thought Scour. Pretty good Thought Scour. Fairly good anyway. Might have wanted the Snapcaster, but I think he's fine with losing to Geist. Ponder. I think it was another Phantasmal Image and an Invisible Stalker and Phantasmal Image.
It's a pretty good one.
I think that's what he saw.
Thinking about his options here.
He puts him in a different order. Oh, it was Steel Sabotage, I think, was the middle card. I don't know, but he's got a Steel Sabotage in his hand.
Yeah.
One way or another. There's Geist. Yeah, Geist of St. Traft for Meru. So Meru with all the dudes and Sam with all the artifacts. Delver of Secrets, go.
Now here, if I'm Samuel, I might...
He ticks up the bomb to 2.
It's a good
What are you
idea.
going to say you would have done?
I think if I'm Nanu in that spot, I just start getting aggressive with my sword. I feel like after you... how do you stabilize the game this hard? Like, it's just safer to me.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ooh, it might be a big boy.
It's
Maybe
4. He untapped
4,
one.
okay.
Phyrexian Metamorph. Copy Ratchet Bomb? Maybe? Or is he going to copy the Geist?
Just copies Geist
Yeah.
and then is able to Ratchet Bomb away the rest of his opponent's team except for that Delver.
Mm-hmm. Steel Sabotage, the man with all the answers, Meru,
Yeah.
keeps Sam from playing that first Metamorph, and a second one. No, okay, that one resolves, copies the Geist. Geist goes away. Sam passes back, I think he's empty-handed too.
He does have a Ratchet Bomb on 2 though, so he is going to get a good amount of cards from Meru for free right now.
Yeah, so Ratchet Bomb goes off. Meru responds by bouncing his own Snapcaster with a Vapor Snag. Leaves Meru with just a Delver of Secrets. But he did save a Snapcaster, which is pretty strong just given that he has a Steel Sabotage available.
Yeah. very strong. All right, now this back and forth continues. Meru just passing the turn after a quick attack with that Delver of Secrets.
Yeah, Meru is basically
moved.
setting up for like Moorland Haunt turbo, action here. He just set it up.
Yeah, I think
separating his
eventually
graveyard
the
out.
Moorland Haunt's just going to kind of take this game over. The game has been so grindy. Samuel, unfortunately, mulling into 5 cards. Deck were not really able to operate as optimally as one might hope.
Wow, I'm surprised Meru did not make a token. Delver flipping. Gitaxian Probe from Meru shows Wormcoil Engine, and Snapcaster Steel Sabotage will deal with that just fine.
Yeah, no problem at all in that one.
Keep saying Steel Sabotage. Steel Sabotage. Yeah, so Steel Sabotage will deal with that Wormcoil just fine. So Insectile Aberration in for 3, Sam at 5. Wormcoil not going to help unless he can draw a second one or something else that Meru has to counter with a Snapcaster Steel Sabotage.
Yeah, and I mean, this is really, really bad for Samuel at this point. Meru, if I'm him, I like to make the play of casting a Phantasmal Image, copying my Insectile Aberration. That way, even if another big artifact comes down, you can still just block it in Philadelphia.
So that's what he does. So Meru with a Phantasmal Insectile Aberration. And Sam untaps, shuffles his 1 card and Wormcoil Engine back and forth in his hand. He knows Meru has Snapcast. Okay, well.
Liliana, that's gonna keep things going for a little bit, and yeah,
Sam should be at 5, I believe.
Yeah, he is at 5 after that last attack. Meru has lethal on board, but Liliana is going to solve that issue for Sam. Still, Sam just way too far behind at this point.
If I'm, it's. Meru has a Celestial Purge, so Liliana's just going to trade. So yeah, she resolves.
I'm actually somewhat surprised Meru chose that line of play. Maybe you just make a guy in response and sacrifice that. But Sam only has 1 card in hand, right? He knows it's a Wormcoil?
Yeah.
So he could have just won.
He could have, yeah.
And not really the end of the world. I mean, now Sam's dropping a 1 here for this attack. And then, when your opponent's at 1 and you have Moorland Haunt in play, and they don't have flying creatures in the deck besides Inkmoth Nexus, eventually you're going to win.
Speaking of Inkmoth Nexus. Inkmoth Nexus activated on Sam's side of the board. Appears to be blocking Delver. So Sam just falls to 4 here.
Yep. Meru going down to 11, another Gitaxian Probe from him. And he's in absolutely no danger this game. Again, that Moorland Haunt is presenting lethal. 1 more time.
Yeah, I just passed the turn here. Because you can go.
Oh, never mind. He doesn't have another guy in his yard.
Huh?
He doesn't have another guy in his yard, I guess?
I think that is his yard.
Oh, that's his yard?
Yeah, he's got plenty of food.
Okay, he's got tons of it.
I think that he just separated.
I wasn't sure which side was which.
I think the exile cards are actually underneath, actually off camera. So.
Okay.
I think he just separated them out.
That must be removed, unless there was a Nile Spellbomb involved.
All right, so Sam goes for the Wormcoil Engine. I think
Meru's going to Snapcaster Steel Sabotage this,
and then
likely win the game. Yeah.
All right, that's my thoughts. I mean, I guess. Okay, so he Snapcaster Seal. Yeah, anyway. There was kind of a lot going on there, but I think it boiled down to Snapcaster Seal sabotage for the worm coil engine. But I think it resolved, right? He let it resolve, and then Sam activated Liliana, and then Meru went, well, I'm going to Celestial Purge Liliana, and then I'm going to Snapcaster Seal sabotage your worm coil engine. So, does this matter?
Yeah. Is this even close? Yeah, so Meru Bhanot advances to 4-0.